Happy New Year, folks. I wasn't going to record one of these today. I already recorded one earlier this morning for tomorrow. But I just found out a little while ago that James Avery passed away yesterday on my birthday. And that is just awful. James was a fantastic actor. I loved his work on Fresh Prince and Ninja Turtles. And really sad to see him go. Which I believe he passed away at like 65, which is just, that's sad. That's not right. So to commemorate, I went off and I watched this video. That was an interview that he did on, I think, one of the Ninja Turtles box sets from a few years ago. And in his interview, towards the end, he makes a really, really interesting point that I kind of maybe wanted to record this. About how if there is immortality in this world, it's through the work that we leave behind. He was likening the fact that, like, he and his fellow actors who he was, cherishing, the Ninja Turtles cast and stuff, talking about that all the work that they did on the show, somebody somewhere will be watching it and remembering it and enjoying it for what it is, and that is a sense of immortality to what it is that you do. And with these vlogs, I've been talking a lot about, specifically to people who've been asking me for advice and, kind of curious about how to start doing, their own creative works and pursuing their dreams and goals and hopes and aspirations. Often what I've been talking about is again, we live in this world where you can just do anything and put it up and it's there. And that's really true. And I also talked a little bit about this on the privacy thing, where I was mentioning, like if you do anything on the internet, it's there forever in some way, shape, or form, and it's not ever 100% truly undeletable. And on that same note, James made also a point of you got to be careful of what you do, because that is what you'll be leaving behind. And I think that also speaks true for not just what we make, but the impact that we leave on others. Like when people raise their kids, it's what people do with their kids, and how they raise them and how they take care of them. I mean, that lasts, through their whole life. And obviously they'll eventually grow up and forge their own path and, find themselves and make a person of themselves. But the impact of what their parents do and what the other friends that they make and the other people around them and the people who inspire them, I mean, those all have like a lasting impact on them. And even though it's not immortal because people only, they only, live for however long they live, it's still the same kind of idea. And, on that same kind of note, work, this line of work, creative stuff, movies, games, TV shows, books, comics, stories, and characters, leave a lasting impact in that same kind of way on people. The characters that I create, I was just talking with somebody yesterday about, they kind of pointed out to me that a lot of my character archetypes and a lot of my, things between each of my works are very much kind of the same. There's always a lot of these kind of repeating elements and themes and quirks and whatnot that I recycle a lot. And from like a entertainment aspect, I guess that's not the greatest thing, but from a personal standpoint, I think that part of the reason why that happens so much is because a lot of my characters are all kind of inspired by the same people that impacted me when I was younger, and no, the ones that still impact me now today. Both people who I know and I'm friends with currently, and also people who inspired me when I was younger, and I still remember them and think about them all the time. The whole point of what it is that I do and what I make is the fact that it's sparked entirely from all of the people who had a lasting impact on me, and so I've often said I've always been creating since I was a little kid, and I've always been telling stories and making characters, and specifically I've just always been basing characters off of the people who inspire me and the things that inspired me and the ideals that, you know, kind of ingrained themselves in my head. And I never really thought about how, you know, what I made would impact others. I didn't really start thinking about that until I want to say like midway into college, when I really started thinking about, you know, what it is that I do on the internet. Because by the time I had started like forging a name for myself, I want to say this was around like 2008 or 10, like somewhere kind of in between that period of time is when I had that sort of something clicked in my head, and I was like, oh, this is stuff that means something to people. I was always appreciative of people who had cared about anything that I worked on, you know, before that, of course, but I didn't really start thinking about, you know, what it was saying to people until way later. And now, you know, I'm very grateful and respectful of the fact that I get, you know, many emails and messages and comments and things about what it is that I do that affects people, especially with tone. Currently is the biggest thing that I get those kind of accolades for. And, you know, if you're one of those people and you're listening and you've reached out to me and told me stories like that, then I really appreciate it. And it kind of comes back to the point that James made about the immortality with what you do in entertainment and in creativity, you know, because I think the fact that, because I grew up with a lot of like positive ideals of you know, cherishing what's important, protecting what's important, and, you know, and doing what's right. That's kind of the overarching thing that I try to like integrate into everything that I do. And I guess maybe it's not even consciously, but I guess it's with the notion of that if people are going to take something away from it, it should be something positive and lasting in that kind of upward way, so that it's not a negative or you know, or like depressing kind of experience. You know what I mean? Like even just these videos, just doing these like little whatever rambling off, you know, bullshit kind of things that I'm doing. It's all with some sort of purpose of like wanting to help and wanting to like instruct people and you know, and kind of show, you know, a different side of something, etc. And but, you know, more importantly, with the stuff that like I really put like my full energy and creativity into, you know, that's what's much more, you know, what I kind of pour my resources into in that regard. What I pour my heart and soul into to make a positive impact on people. And I think that it has. I'm really, really glad that it has, and I hope that that's what I can continue to do more than anything. You know, it's all really just in tribute to the people that I love and the people that I respect and the people who have inspired me. So it's fulfilling to me in that regard. But it's also in a different way very fulfilling to me to know that like this thing that I've made that will be immortal through just being put on the internet and being on a computer somewhere, or you know, being in picture form somewhere, or whatever it is, you know, that's what people will take away from it. And I want to continue to do that. And you know, again, I hope that all of you who are sticking with me throughout all of this, you know, will continue to take something positive away from it. So, all but just going kind of in circles at this point, so I'm gonna cut this short. But thanks a lot. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Rest in peace, James Avery. Everybody go watch some Ninja Turtles or some Fresh Prince, or, you know, some James Avery movies to commemorate. And I certainly learned a really good lesson from him in going back and watching that interview today. So, yeah, that'll do it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.